What if I told you that the number you've been obsessing over your entire adult life was specifically designed not to help you, but to help banks decide how much money they can make off of you? That's the credit score. And today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood financial tools in modern history. The credit score as we know it was invented by Fair Isaac Corporation, now known as FICO, back in 1989. Before that, lending decisions were made by local bankers who actually knew their customers. But as banking scaled nationally, lenders needed a standardized way to assess risk. Enter the FICO score, a 3-digit number ranging from 300 to 850 that would define your financial life for decades to come. Here's the first thing nobody tells you. There is no single credit score. You actually have 28 different FICO scores alone, plus scores from VantageScore, plus industry-specific scores for auto loans, mortgages, and credit cards. A 2019 study by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found that 26% of Americans were surprised to discover their scores varied significantly across different platforms. Lenders choose which version to pull based on what benefits them, not you. The second dirty secret is how the scoring model is built. Your payment history accounts for 35% of your score. Amounts owed is 30%. Length of credit history is 15%. Credit mix is 10%. New inquiries are the last 10%. Notice something? To build a perfect credit score, you actually need to be in debt. You need open credit accounts. You need a mix of credit cards and loans. The system literally rewards you for borrowing money and penalizes you for being debt-free. A person who has never borrowed a single dollar in their life has no credit score at all. FICO calls this being credit invisible. The Federal Reserve estimated in 2022 that approximately 26 million Americans are credit invisible, meaning they essentially don't exist to the traditional financial system despite potentially being financially responsible. Now let's talk about the credit utilization trap. Experts tell you to keep your utilization below 30% for a good score, and below 10% for an excellent score. So if you have a $10,000 credit limit, you should never charge more than $1,000. But here's the insane part. Your utilization resets every billing cycle. So even if you pay your bill in full every single month, if your statement closes with a high balance, your score temporarily drops. Millions of Americans are managing their spending not around their actual financial health, but around a reporting cycle designed by a private corporation. Let's talk money. According to LendingTree data from 2023, the difference between a 620 credit score and a 760 credit score on a $300,000 30-year mortgage can mean paying over $86,000 more in total interest. That's not a small number. That is a life-changing amount of money. Insurance companies in most states now use credit-based insurance scores to set your premiums. A 2022 report from the Consumer Federation of America found that drivers with poor credit paid up to 76% more for auto insurance than drivers with excellent credit, even when all other factors were identical. And employers in 39 states can legally pull a version of your credit report during hiring, though not your actual score. Here's what really exposes the system for what it is. The three major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, are all private for-profit companies. They sell your data. They sell you access to your own data. And in 2017, Equifax exposed the personal and financial information of 147 million Americans through a data breach. The company was fined $575 million by the FTC, which sounds significant until you realize that's roughly 3.92 per person whose data was compromised. So what do you actually do with this information? First, check all three of your credit reports for free at annualcreditreport.com, the only federally authorized free source. Studies show that 1 in 5 Americans has an error on their credit report, and those errors can cost you real money. Dispute everything inaccurate in writing. Second, understand that your credit score is a tool you can game legally. Time your large credit card purchases to be paid before your statement closes, not just before the due date. That single shift can boost your score by 20 to 40 points. Third, if your credit invisible, secured credit cards and credit builder loans from institutions like self or local credit unions can help you build a history without the predatory traps of traditional credit. And finally, stop treating your credit score as a measure of your financial worth. It is not. It is a measure of how profitable you are to lenders. True financial health is measured in savings rates, net worth, and investment returns, none of which appear anywhere on your credit report. The game is real, the stakes are enormous, and now you know the rules.